Hi, my name is Rochelle Franklin. I'm going to be performing the IV fluid and medication administration a video for you here today. But first we're going to start off with washing our hands. We want to wash our hands thoroughly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, getting in between all the nooks and crannies and drying our hands properly. Next, we're going to go ahead and don our gloves. And I already gathered our supplies for us, but we're going to go over our supplies, what we use them for, how we use them, okay? So this first thing is going to be the IV tubing. So you always want to inspect your packaging, make sure that it's not expired or anything like that. And then next you're going to look at what this drip factor is for this IV tubing. That's going to be a 15. 10 to 15 drop factor is considered a macro drop factor. Just a little fun fact for you. And then we're going to go ahead and roll out our primary tubing. So we're going to start with the top. This is called the spike. It is sterile, so that's why there's a cap on it, so that you can spike it into the other sterile end of your IV fluids. This is called the drip chamber. You're going to want to squeeze that, and that will count your drip factors that you'll need. This part is the tubing, which you're going to want to make sure that there's no air bubbles that go in. This is your roller clamp, which we're going to roll off so that, when we spike our bag, it doesn't go everywhere, and we can control the priming of the tubing. So you're going to inspect your tubing all throughout, especially when you go ahead and spike it. Then the next step is going to be your Y site. So your Y site is where you can put in medication or other things that you need. You're going to always want to wipe it on the top since it is not sterile with an alcohol wipe and let it dry. This is the adapter port. It's also a sterile, and this will go into the catheter and twist in with a luer lock, okay? So now that we went over our primary tubing, I'm going to go ahead and go over our orders for our IV. So before you start anything, you always want to inspect your IV fluids and, of course, compare your orders with what you grabbed. So with that being said, you want, it looks like our orders is going to be 150 milliliters per hour. So with that, you're going to want to do your 6 rights, making sure that the patient, if they have any allergies, and then 6 rights are right patient, right time, right dose, right medication, indication, right documentation, right route as well. So there's all of that. You're also going to want to ensure that this is at least 30 inches above the intravenous site from the adult. So, all right. So, like I said, how you calculate your drip factor is you're going to have the total volume, and then you're going to take the number of hours that you have, and that's going to give you your drip factor. And then after that, you're going to take the drips, 15, over how many minutes times the drip factor, and then that will give you how much you have. So for this particular order, it's going to be 37.5 drips per minute, but unfortunately we can't do a half drip, so we have to round. Since it's 0.5, you would round up to 38 drips per minute. So I'm going to open this. And like I said, just inspect, making sure there's no floaties or anything in your, and it was sealed in your IV fluid. And then you're going to take this end. So this end's the sterile end. This is a port that you can insert medication into, but this one is where you spike. So you're going to take this end and you're going to pop it open, keeping it sterile, of course, as much as possible. And then you're going to take your spike and you're going to place it in, twist, until it's all the way into the hub, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and flip it over. And then filling your chamber up at least 3/4. So this is your primary bag. You're going to go ahead and prime your tubing. Once again, you're going to make sure that there is no air bubbles in your line before you connect it to the patient, okay? And then you're going to hang that, like I said, 30 inches above the IV site for an adult. All right, so next up is our second order. So this order is going to be a medication. So it's amoxicillin, 250 milligrams and 100 mLs of normal saline over 15 minutes. And same rules apply. Make sure you do your 6 rights, verify your patient's allergies, and any other medications that they may be on, because you don't want to overdose them on amoxicillin. So with 250 milligrams in 100 mLs normal saline, you want to do 100 mLs over 1 hour. And then you're going to do a drip factor of 15 once again, because this is the secondary tubing and it has 15 drips per ml. And you are going to get 100 for your drips per minute. Okay, so that's how that works. Once again, inspect your bag, make sure everything's kosher. And so you're going to go ahead and open your piggyback again. And it doesn't have the medicine in it, but you would put your medicine in it, the 250 milligrams of amoxicillin. And then you're going to spike the bag just like you did with the other bag, making sure your roller clamp is off. And then you're going to spike that bag, keeping sterile technique, okay? Then you're going to flip it over and let that go. And then you're going to prime the tubing all the way into the bottom, okay? So in your secondary tubing or your piggyback tubing, you have this hook. And this hook is going to, I'm going to show you. This hook is going to allow the primary bag to hang lower, okay? Hang lower than our bag, okay? So it's going to hang like that. And then this one, if I had another hook, it'd be up here. It's of course higher. So how you want to connect your primary and secondary tubing. You find your Y site. You're going to clean it off with alcohol. You're going to wait until it dries, and then you're going to insert the piggyback that is primed all the way, because you don't want any air bubbles. Very, very important. Okay, and then you're going to take it and do the lure lock and twist, and then you're going to start that secondary line or your piggyback, and it's going to hang higher, okay? Right. I think I went over it all. Thank you so much. Once again, we're going to wash our hands. You know, you have these handy dandy labels where you can put your patient's name, the drug, the amount, the start time, and what it's impregnated with. All right. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.